Hello, today I'm going to be doing a hair rendering tutorial using this moth lady. Yes, so I already have my base layer and this is sort of a creamy colored color, and I'm going to create a new layer. And for shading like shadows, I usually always use multiply as the blending mode. I'll just test out the color because sometimes when I'm working with a really light color, I like to make it temporarily darker just because it's easier to see what I'm doing. So I'm actually going to make it darker just by playing with the brightness, and then I'm going to go in with on multiply. Select that color again, and as you can see, it's a lot easier to see what you're shading actually. So I'm going to start on the bangs, and I usually like to just go in with my teyoid classic lineup brush, which is, even though it's a lineup brush and I initially created it for that purpose, I think it does really well as a rendering brush too. I don't like to go too heavy near the scalp, like the part, because it I don't know, it just doesn't look right to me. It looks too heavy, and I like it to get heavier towards the bottom. Through the power of shading, you will be able to make it look more detailed and like there is actually sections of hair instead of it just being sort of flat. You know what I mean? I'm now going to, I just added a little bit, and as you can see, I blended out this edge. I usually like to keep one of the edges harder, like this one, though that actually looks good, so I'm going to keep it like that. So I like to blend out the outer edges, and my blending brush is my teyoid blending brush. All my brushes are available in my Gumroad if you would like it. I'm going to start on the lower portion near the face, and I'm just going to do big long strokes like this. Then here. Okay, so then, now you can see it's a pretty harsh, very, very harsh, very, you know, so we're gonna make it like blended and nice. So we're gonna go in with our blending brush again and blend that out. And now it's like too blended. So what do? We're gonna go in with our erase brush, and I'm going to erase. So to see where this line is continuing, we're going to erase in between that and that shading we just created, and also here. Sort of like this. And now this is going to just depend on what your art is and what the hair is like, but for this, that looks correct. And then, you know, you can redefine the shadows in certain places with your brush tool. Now I'm going to connect that shadow to this shadow, like this. So now I'm going to connect that to this thing here, because as you can see, this part of the hair is sort of going like that. So yeah, I connected it because it's sort of meant to be going over. And as I said, I don't like to put too much shading up here, so I'm going to just go in on the outer edge here like that, and then probably just taper it. Just so there is a clear distinction between this section and then this section of hair, you know? Go here and I notice how there is this little thing here, so I'm going to use that. I'm going to go in with a larger brush and then sort of do that. And I want there to be... actually, I'm going to color that, but it's sort of lighter near this section, so now I'm going to just blend that so it's nice and even. Alrighty. Okay, very nice and good. And I'm going to just clean that up a bit. I think I want this edge here to be more defined, so I'm going to go as dark as I can there. And I'm going to go in with my erase tool and definitely erase this little inside edge here. Like that. Okay. And it's still looking a little too like blocked in, so I might do this. Yeah. See, it just looks like hair now. And actually, I'm gonna go in like that, I think, for now, because, yeah. And then go in and fix this up a bit, make it a little more erased here. Because by doing these little erase strokes, it adds more definition to the hair. It makes it look like there's actual pieces of hair making up a big slab of hair, you know? And once again, I'm going to follow that same technique and just repeat that. And essentially that applies to all portions of the hair. And so just repeat that just repeat it. So now you'll probably see this go into like a speed up mode and just see me complete the rest of the hair. So I'm gonna now start doing the long portion of the hair, and I mean the same stuff still applies to it. So just continue using that method that was shown before and continue using it. Okay, so I got all the shading done. Now I'm gonna just be adding some secondary shadows, and I just do that by, you know, going on another multiply layer and then with the same shading color, and I'm just going to be adding highlights. I'm going to be adding shadows to like this part right here, because it's basically to indicate which hair is laying on top of the other piece of hair. It's just a good way of showing that. So okay. Now I'm going to actually increase the brightness to that original color we had, which was like around this color, I would say. It was a slight cream. And as you can see, we have very well defined shadows. And now I'm going to play around just with the shadows a little bit and see if I want to change it to a warmer color. I think I will. So I'm gonna go to color balance and just play around with it. Just this is good. And then the second darker, so I was gonna change the hue to one color. Yeah, just like that. Okay, so now I'm actually gonna go and select the color of the face. And I'm gonna just go above all of that with a very soft airbrush. And I'm going to add a little to the center where the face is interacting with the hair, because I like it to be lighter. I just like doing that. And now I'm going to do the highlights, and I think for this I'm once again going to turn down the brightness a bit just so I can see better what I'm doing. And I'm going to go above, and for this I'm actually gonna just leave it on a normal blending mode. I'm going to select a color that is lighter, obviously, so it will act as a highlight. And now for highlights, I like to usually just go in and I do like a huge curved line like this, and then I'm gonna do it across all here, because I'm just gonna do basic front light hitting. And now what I'd like to do is I just blend in those edges that I created. Not that I created, that are present. Just like this. And it's a little hard to see right now, so I'm actually going to increase it even as high as possible, just so it's easy to see the highlight, because this hair is very light once again. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in with my erase tool and basically cut into it like this, where there are lines, where the line art is. And like, as you can see here, it doesn't always have to go like fully, so I'm going to add a little cut in here. just like that. And then I'm going to do a full line through it. You know, just add some variety. Put some close together, some further apart. It just looks best that way. It looks more natural. And I'm going to put a line through here probably. And then blend in if it looks too harsh, the lines. Just like that. And if it's... Then I like to go in on top of each little section and just bring it down a bit in some parts like this. Just so it doesn't look so straight across the head, you know? Just like that. Just don't stress it too much. I used to really struggle with highlights. I don't know why. I just found them so difficult to do. And you'd think they would be easy, but I don't know. I personally have never found them easy. So just something like this, basically. Okay, I am liking that. So I'm going to repeat that to all the rest of those lines. Now what I'm going to do to sort of blend that in with the rest of the hair is I'm going to grab a brush again, and I'm going to start like outlining the edges like here, and also go up from the top of the head. And then I may even add some more larger sections of highlight. We'll just have to see what looks good. So I always like to outline pretty much all the outer lines because it just blends it all together. Makes it not look too jarring. So as you can see, it's starting to look like more blended and a part of the actual hair rather than separate. And we're gonna of course do that here. Add it everywhere you can and where it looks good. Now we got the highlights sorted. Yeah. Just gonna... Alrighty, so now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna create a new layer. And I'm going to go to color dodge usually. It just depends on what looks best. And I'm going to get a soft brush and then go around the outer edges of most of the places. This just creates a cool effect that I like. I don't want it to be adding too much color, just a little bit of lighting. And I might actually just blur it out a bit. Now I'm going to finally add a little bit of cool tones to secondary shadows that we put in. I'm going to add just a bit to like the inner edge. Just like this. And in some of the shadows. I don't go overboard with this just because it doesn't look that good when you do. Okay, and there we go. There is the hair. But yeah, those are the techniques that I am currently using for hair shading. And I hope that this tutorial could have been of use to you. Cry! Not another teyoid stream. I can't bear this any longer. Snarls, punches onto my phone, scratching my screen with my mighty claws. No more teyoid. Grah!